So, the last week or so has been a very busy week for the world and those who lurk around on YouTube. Between Onision having ammo to use against one of his exes now due to a breakdown on Twitter, or random DMs, not exactly sure the situation, I was busy all weekend, to the coronavirus potentially being spread by a death cult out of South Korea. Yes, a cult of Christian believers whose leader believes that he is both God, Jesus, and the devil. Yeah, we're doing fantastic so far. The fact that that same cult had a uh, church in the Wuhan district, well, Wuhan area, yeah, that they've covered up all information that existing leads many to believe that potentially that cult may or may not have had something to do with it, which is quite possible. So, let's see what we actually worry about right now. With the coronavirus to start with, because coronavirus is always something fun to talk about. So far, the incubation period could be anywhere between 7 days to 5 to 6 weeks. And during that incubation period, you can pass tests saying that you are clean of the disease, clean of the virus. You pass saying that you're not infected, and also you can pass it on to other people without showing symptoms. It's contagious in the incubation period, or at least before it starts showing signs. So potentially we have hundreds of thousands of typhoid Marys roaming around the planet. And the numbers coming out of California, they ain't gonna be good, especially not when they hit that homeless population. Because once the coronavirus hits that homeless population, oh boy, California is gonna burn fast. Seattle has the same problem because, Seattle also has a pretty large homeless population and also ran by idiots. So, you're going to see that state burn too. Washington's going to burn like California. Probably not as bad or as quick, but it's going to be bad. If this stuff gets to New York, oh boy, New York's done for. Hell, even the smaller communities are fucked. You get that person up in Nebraska. Is it Nebraska? I think it's Nebraska. With that couple, even though they lied, they lied about being clean on their test, just so they get back to the United States, even though they had never got the results back. So they lied and boarded the plane, potentially infected everyone on that plane, and they're showing signs of being sick now. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun when people lie and potentially just helped destroy entire states? Always fun. Then you got all the people disappearing that, have information out about this stuff in China. Then you have the whole fact that there was a book written a while ago in which it seems to be the stuff in the book seems to be more of a newspaper at this point of stuff that's happening. The fact that disease comes from Wuhan, like in that book. The fact that the doctor who tells everyone about it is named Lee. That was the doctor who was telling us about it in China, and the way it's being handled. Um, at the rate it's going, it ain't gonna be good soon. It's gonna be bad, very bad. Oh well. Enough about coronavirus. Actually, hold on. There are a few things about the coronavirus that those who will listen or listen to. Dry foods. Stock up on it. Don't have to do much, like an extra bag of rice here and there. A few more cans of beans. If you have someone in your household you be taking care of that has a certain dietary constraint, keep that in mind and make sure you have some products that can help that dietary need. Whether it's vegetarian, veganism, or anything else, or they medically can't eat something. Make sure you get stuff that can work around it. Vegetarians, cans of beans, cans of vegetables, a lot of canned goods. Vegans, enjoy that, enjoy that. For high protein, beans and dehydrated vegetables and whatnot as a good source beside meat. Also, make sure you get a few jugs of water and have several empty jugs laying around. So you get done with drinking milk, uh, clean out the container and store it somewhere. That way, when everything starts to go bad, you can fill up the empty jug of milk and have one more source of water. Best thing to do is boil the water first, and then let the water cool and put it into the container. That way, the water has a less chance of developing algae in it. And then once you have algae water, that ain't gonna taste very good and potentially gets you sick in some cases, depending on how bad the algae in your water is. No more coronavirus. On to Onision's shit. Uh, yeah, it ain't gonna be good soon. The fact that he's able to take what Shiloh was going after Sarah for and DMs and whatnot, it ain't gonna be good. I don't know exactly what DMs are, so I'm gonna leave it there because not much to do. Talk about the Shiloh bit, but the fact that potentially he might be going on Keemstar and Drama Alert. Keemstar most likely offered Onision some money. Most likely offered some money, and or Onision is really, really ready to just drive a nail through this case against him. He's ready to help destroy it. I don't know. The whole Keemstar needs to just leave, but he's never gonna disappear. He's gonna be around forever and ever and ever. And this Onision drama is just getting worse. There's a good chance that Kai is gonna be the one going to jail, and Onision is gonna get away scot free. There's a good chance this is gonna happen because everything's coming out. Kai is the one who's involved. Most of the stuff that Onision's done, there's not really hard evidence against it, and not at least not enough hard evidence against it to actually make it worthwhile. I don't know. All depends what's going on. So yeah, that's happening. That's a thing. Onward and upward. So let's talk about what I did on Friday. Yeah, Friday. You see, I worked Friday, and power went out on my block due to a tree falling across the street, taking out the power line. Well, not taking out the power line at the guy's house, but pulling the power line to where it ripped off the top of a power pole a few doors down and damaged the wires to where everything cut off in the block. So we were without power for a few hours. At least my house was. My grandfather had, my grandparents have this giant generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes off. So it's kind of cool. So they didn't even realize the power went out until they heard the generator running. And my grandfather thought someone else's generator was running because he keeps forgetting it exists. It's funny. But yeah, fun times. Uh, Water's good for ya. The So I decided to spend my time driving around. Well, earlier that day I had listened to a video about Commander. I was watching game nights from right after the 2017. Was it 2017? I think yeah, 2017. Commander's decks came out, and I no was 16, 17, 18. It was 18 Commander decks came out. Yeah, 2018 Commander decks came out, and I happened to see one that piqued my interest. It was the Dragon one. No, it wasn't the Dragon one. What was it? Dragon was 2017. So it was 2018. It was the Nature's. Where's the box? Oh, Nature's Vengeance. The reason that piqued my interest is because it has my favorite set of colors: Jund, black, red, and green. I like Jund. It's a nice. I like the color scheme for it. And that was my first deck. I took it to a tournament, which was Jund. I enjoyed it. I at least enjoyed the concept of it. But yeah, so I looked online, saw, oh, this deck is expensive, and the decks were expensive. The blue and red one wasn't that expensive. I've seen it for prices of like $20 or so. So I said, okay, I'll look. I'll go to Walmart or something. Because mind you, I have no power. So, well, when I came home, found there was no power. Uh, got food for my sister because she had nothing she could cook. Because all her food she has, she can't eat. Well, using some kind of cooking or whatnot. While I have food, I can just eat, not have to worry about that. Because that's what I do. Uh, I decided to go to Walmart's and look at magic products. Went to one Walmart and they had a bunch of commander decks there. Most of them were the 2019 ones, and they had the red and blue one from 2018. I was tempted to grab that one, but then I realized, wait, it's cheaper online. No big deal. I won't worry about it then. Went to another Walmart, the Walmart that I go to quite often, where I keep finding weird shit at, like the old products that haven't been on the shelves in years, but then Walmart kind of digs them out and releases them every now and again. I found two of the 2018 decks. I found Nature's Vengeance, which the box looked like it was tampered with because there was a giant hole in the back of the box, and the bottom of the box was covered in this gray slime stuff that looked like some bad glue they tried gluing the bottom back together with and messed up on. So it was kind of iffy on buying that one. And the zombie one, the red, black, white zombie deck. I think it's red, black, white. I have to look at it again, but it's the zombie deck with the weird little girl on the front of it. I thought about getting that one as well, but that would have been more money than it was worth because the decks was still normal priced at like $40, which maybe I should. The whole thing again, that box wasn't about the same condition the Nature's Vengeance box was. And the only reason I bought it was because I didn't feel like having to go on a website and get the box and hope I get it and it not be tampered with as well. And it was gonna cost a few more bucks and plus shipping and handling. So I took the gamble and I bought the box from Walmart in its terrible condition. Worst case scenario, my hopes were it was a complete box, which thankfully it is. The worst case scenario was that it was just the giant oversized card, and then a bunch of random cards, or just a rock or something in the box itself, tightly packed for weight. That was the worst case scenario. No, only the oversized card being there. But lucky for me, all the cards were there, and I was happy. Looking for the deck, it's interesting because the concept of the Planeswalker is great. Uh, Lord Wild Glare, Grace, Wild Grace, Wind Grace, Wind Grace. There we go, Lord Wind Grace. I cannot read. Uh, two, two mana, a black, red, and green. Starts with 5 loyalty counter. Gets a +2. Discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card was discarded this way, draw an additional card. Right there, you automatically have card gain. Yes, you do put a land in the graveyard, but there's ways around that. Because you have the abilities that kick off, like -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's actually a pretty cool way. Now the Nature's Vengeance deck has other cards such as uh, Zendikar, Avenger of Zendikar. Let me see. Can't remember names. I'm terrible at this. I'm terrible at podcasting or doing whatever the hell this is. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, Avenger of Zendikar. A card I wanted back in World Wake, but didn't get. Was it World? Yeah, it was in World Wake. I wanted this card. I think it was in. Never got it. I did get Jace Mind Sculptor, and that's yeah. Also looking at other cards, I think back to and said, why did I sell them? It goes back to Jace Mind Sculptor, me selling him Karn the yeah Karn Liberated. That guy, I wish I kept him because I liked his last ability. Let's just restart the game. It's fun little things like that, but then you think about, probably not the best idea. I am planning on at some point getting all the Nicol Bolas cards I can. I want to make a commander deck around Nicol Bolas. I think that'd be a kind of cool idea. But back to Lord Windgrace. Because you use +2 to send a hand from your hand to the graveyard to draw an extra card. You do that twice, then on turn 3, the guy's still around. You can just -3 and return 2 lands and put them on the field. If you already have Avenger of Zendikar on the field, that's landfall twice. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a 1/1 counter on each plant token creature you control. So you start from having 0/1s and end up having a bunch of 2/3s. That's very useful. So the deck likes its land is like its mana ramp and its land entering the battlefield because Navy card works with landfall. There's not a bunch of landfall cards in this deck. There's a few, but not as many as I would expect there to be. I have to look through my old cards from the set from Zendikar, World Wake, and I think Rise of the Eldrazi might have a few landfall cards. I'm not sure, and see if I can add more landfall to this deck or just run it as it is. I like the idea of landfall. It was fun back in the Magic the Gathering game that had it on the Xbox. Can't remember which one had it, but I know there was a landfall deck, which was fun to a degree, but was nowhere near optimized enough to where you can make it optimized enough to where it was useful in many situations, due to the sheer fact that they don't make every deck playable. Hell, the Jund deck in one of them, it was great if you didn't want to run it as a Jund deck. If you ran it as a Jund deck, where you're constantly doing damage out, sacrificing creatures just to build more creatures up and running, ain't gonna do it. The whole point of the deck was the best way to run that deck was to try to get the dragons out. Oh, take back. The best way to run the deck was not to use the dragons. If you didn't use the big dragons like the deck like you wanted to, the deck would be somewhat possible to run and actually have a chance to win. Sometimes against a few of the other decks. If you try to run it with the dragons, if it worked, it did gangbusters. But the win rate with that was so low that no, you only did that if you absolutely wanted to. Absolutely did not care about winning. I just wanted to occasionally get a dragon out. I did like the samurai deck though. I might try to make a Kamigawa samurai deck. It'd be kind of interesting. Oh, I also found another deck from 2017 I forgot I even bought. Apparently I bought a commander deck back in 2017. I didn't realize it. It was the dragon one. And that deck's interesting. I forgot I had them, and I'm glad I found it. I happened to find it because I was trying to cut the lock off my shed because I thought I lost the key to it. So I went to the store, grabbed a new padlock and a few other stuff I need for the yard, and grabbed the bolt cutters from work and tried to cut the lock off. Yeah, that didn't work very well. Hopefully I didn't damage the bolt cutters too much. Oops. But yeah, that happened. I eventually found the key in my room, and like the one place I didn't check, which pissed me the fuck off. But that happens. That happens a lot. Me doing something and everything just goes to hell. I But the dragon deck, back to the dragon deck. I like the idea that the commanders do get a benefit if they're on the field or in the command zone. That's neat. So dragon deck and commander is functional that way because you can just excuse me, you can run with a lot of strong mana heavy, a lot of mana heavy spells that are dragons creatures, and it'll get them out on the field faster because the -1 mana cost, and the deck provides a lot of other ways to make things -1 mana cost, and also protects itself to a degree because by using curses that you can cast on your opponents to make them more viable targets, which that alone is great. That gives me an idea to make another deck, a curse deck. I have looked up the curses and realized there's quite a few curses that you can do. So you can do you can probably do a 5-colored enchantment deck that just runs off of curses and allowing you to. It's basically a political "don't look at me" deck, trying to pull the strings. Essentially, make other people more valuable targets, and recycle your enchantments back into the deck. or make copies of your enchantments and cast them on other people, and just keep on moving the enchantments from one person to the next person to where it's finally you and one other person, and you cast all your enchantments on that target, on that player, and just go to town on them. All kinds of fun stuff. There's a white enchantment that a white curse that makes it where the person who has it cast on them can only cast one spell a turn. That that's a game ender in Commander if you think about it. That's a game ender. There's like nothing you do at that point. You're done. You gotta get rid of that first, and if they keep protecting that spell or have ways to get it back and recast it, you ain't gonna win. So I guess more of a control deck would be great. A control enchantment deck with curses would be cool. I'm also thinking about I don't know. There's all kinds of little things I can do. I do want to do another red green aggro deck, but I don't know if that's gonna be very good for Commander anymore. At least not my versions. Zendikar Incarnate. Zendikar Incarnate's power is equal to the number of lands you control. That's useful. Oh shit, that would be useful. So I do have that deck. Counterpunch was... What color is a Counterpunch? It doesn't have red. It's white, isn't it? Huh. That might be interesting to do. Let's see. I'm doing some live looking up here, because the Commander deck Counterpunch, it's an old deck. Counterpunch is black, green, and white. I can see that because I have the box nearby, so I can read the top of the box, the deck box. Yes, for those who don't know, Counterpunch was one of the original Commander decks, which, honestly, when that product came out and I was just getting into Commander, it was great. I bought 3 of them. Political Puppets, Mirror Mastery, and Counterpunch. Counterpunch was the first one I bought, then I bought Mirror Mastery, and I found Political Puppets for cheap on a website somewhere, I think. It was worth it in my opinion. Just for the cards and being able to use everything else, because I basically tore apart Counterpunch and made it into my own thing. I used the Commander from Counterpunch because I like the colors that lets me use, and just the idea of the Commander. I'm sure I can find another Commander to put in there that works with that, because I made the Counterpunch into pure tokens. Just tokens. Almost everything can generate tokens. So my idea to win is just to overwhelm you with just numbers. Just overwhelming numbers and just crush you. But the Zendikar Incarnate, that would be an interesting card to run, and a deck I'm thinking of doing as well. A Sporling deck. For those who don't know, Sporlings were replaced by plant tokens. Sporling tokens are different, because there's a lot of cards that interact with Sporling tokens. Sporling? Anyway. Some of those tokens are some of the ones in enchantment, in which turns all forest into Sporlings. 1/1 Sporlings, and turns all Sporlings into forests. They both share. They both become both of them. So all your tokens become land, and all your land becomes tokens, but still can do the normal things they do. That's really powerful with Zendikar Incarnate, because you can essentially double or triple the amount of lands you have at your disposal, making one guy very big. And if you have Lightning Greaves, Lightning Greaves, or another spell you can, another piece of another artifact you can put on the creature to make it harder to kill, you can run right through the front lines of your opponent and crush them. I have some gold cards here. I don't know where they came from. Weird. I am excited for the next, the products to come out this week. On the Friday coming up, the 29th, I guess that's Friday. Because that's going to be very fun, because that's the Unsanctioned release. Unsanctioned is going to be fun for me for the simple fact that it's going to have a bunch of the not usable anywhere cards. I like them. Oh, I got more dragons. Neat. No, I didn't get rid of all my dragons. I got rid of most of them, but not all of them. Uh, for those who don't know, I'm looking through my legendary cards I kept. Legendary cards I did not end up selling. So a lot of them, but didn't end up selling them. I still got Wordle Fire. I like Wordle Fire. Nobody wants to use. Nobody wants to deal with someone who uses World Fire because the whole exile all permanents, exile all cards from hands and graveyards. Each player lose. Each player's life total becomes 1. Yeah, it comes down to who the fuck can get land in a spell out to do something quick enough. Cast through time is fun. Platinum Angel, it's Bay. Well, not Bay, but that's good. I've lost a match because because I fucked around too long, and I'll let my opponent play a Platinum Angel. That taught me something a long time ago in Magic is don't play around, swing when you can. Apocalyptic Hydra, still one of the best ways I got this card. So how I got Apocalyptic Hydra was a long time ago. Right after I got in Magic the Gathering, I went to Walmart. And I saw a pack I bought a pack that contained 2 booster packs. It was like $6. I think it was $6. Yeah, maybe it was $5 or $6. I can't remember. But it contained 2 booster packs and 15 random cards. Figured, okay, whatever. Maybe it was $8, around that price. Basically the price of 2 packs. So I bought it, and I opened up the Shards of Laura part, or whichever one Apocalyptic Hydra came from. I opened it up, and I not only did I get a mythic. No, it wasn't a mythic. Yeah, I did get a mythic. I got one of the other legendaries of that set that Apocalyptic Hydra came from. No, was it rare? I can't remember. I can't remember what card it was, but I ended up my foil. I ended up getting an extra card in that pack, and that was a foil Apocalyptic Hydra. Probably one of the things I'm never going to sell because I like it. I like the idea of doing a mass ramp and then dumping all the mana into Apocalyptic Hydra and having him come on the field. Because Apocalyptic Hydra comes into play with X11 counters on it. Because you pay X and then a red and a green. If X is 5 or more, it comes into play with an additional X 1/1 counters on it. So you can just dump 7 mana into it if you wanted to, and it comes in play with an extra 7. It comes in play with 14 1/1 counters instead of the 7. So that's very good. Garrick, Garrick Relentless. That's great. That's a pretty neat card. Never actually got a chance to use them. I had them in a deck at one point. Never got to use them. Liliana of the Dark Realms. I have Liliana of the Dark Realms in the first and Liliana Vess. They're the only 2 Lilianas I kept. I sold both my Lilianas of the Veils. The Elf Planeswalker, her first printing, that was great. Another Hydra. I like Hydras. I like Hydras. A Johnny Vengeance. Yeah, can't get rid of that guy because that guy's too fun to use in my opinion. A few other cards here and there. Halloween Mine. Great card, in my opinion, sometimes. Not the best thing. And then I have a bunch of red and green cards right now. I'm going through because they are part of a thing another deck I was doing for my uh Cascade deck. The guy who does Cascade and comes into play, gives all you creatures haste. He's pretty cool. The deck I made for him doesn't really work. Isn't really a good build for him. I'm gonna have to rework the deck again. I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna be made into. Eh. Also thinking about just oh, here's the other thing. Swiftfoot Boots. I was looking for this card. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. That's right there makes him great. Slam Zendikar Incarnate with that thing on it. Boom, run right down mid. Knock your opponent the fuck out. A lot of oh yeah, a lot of expedition maps. Forget about those. There's all kinds of little cards you can do. I might end up taking apart my sliver deck because my sliver deck is not worth keeping around anymore. I've never really used it, and when I did, it was one of those things of, okay, yeah, this isn't gonna be fun. It happens. I do plan on some point gathering together a bunch of my Magic the Gathering products, like the Plane Chased, Uh, I think I have Plane Chase and I have some other deck. Can't remember what it is. I gotta look at the old products. Was it Arch Enemy? No, it wasn't Arch Enemy. I don't know. I gotta look at the site and see the old products. So let's look up Star City Games while we're here. Do do do. But yeah, there's all kinds of little things of Magic I like. I've gone back into way more than I thought I would have. I'm not spending nearly as much money as I used to though, which is probably the only good thing that keeps me from just giving up on it altogether. Sealed products. Alright. Oh boy, there's a lot of sealed products here. The unsanctioned is gonna be $50 though. Ooh. Third edition revive. Holy shit. A box of third edition cards from Star City Games. $7,000. What the fuck's in a collector's box? What the hell's a collector's box? 12 booster. Each factory sealed display box contains 12 collector booster packs. What's in a collector booster pack? What's in a collector's booster pack? Okay, so Star City Games also has the become a premium member and save 5%. I don't know. I've used to buy a lot of stuff from Star City Games because it's the only place I knew where to buy Magic the Gathering products at the time. I'm kind of glad I stopped that. Commander 2016. Uh, yeah, a deck from 2016. One's $200. It's Invent Superiority? Is that what it's called? The 4-color commander. 4 legendary foils. Oh, yeah. It's has a bunch of Shards of Lara stuff in it. Pretty neat looking, but not $200 worth. Breed lethality. That's this is insane. Adaptive enchantments, $50. Yeah, I can see that. Still cheaper to try to find them at Walmart, like I did. Faceless Menace. Well, that's actually quite cheap. Huh. There's all kinds of cards that are interesting. The only problem is that about Magic the Gathering I don't like is that a lot of places base their prices off of Star City Games. Some of the stores in my area base their prices off Star City Games. One store bases stuff off of TGC Player. They they like to base their stuff off the TCG Player because I guess that's just what they don't want to do because Star City Games people don't some people I've talked to about it in the past don't like Star City Games because the prices don't seem right. They're just not fun for the buyer. Dual Decks Anthology. What the fuck is that? Garrick versus Liliana. $80. I had that. They're just Merfolk versus Goblins. Right. There's oh boy. I also like the fact I think it's funny that Star City Games can promise you singles before the anything else comes out. What's from the Vault lore? What the hell's this? I know that it's not very interesting to listen to me talk about stuff when, you can't see what that's in here. Delve deeper into the events that shaped the multiverse. Show your opponents that those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. This limited set includes cards from they're known for. Oh, God damn it. They don't show you all the detail. They don't show you everything about it. It's stupid. I don't know. All I'm trying to do is get to one thing, so I'm gonna pause the recording until I get to the one thing I'm looking for. That way you don't have to sit there and watch me or listen to me do it constantly. So we're gonna pause. Okay, so I found the progs I was looking for. I apparently have all four of the Plane Chase 2012 decks. I got all of them back when, I guess on sale at a store or something. Don't know how I came across all four of them. But I got the four from 2012, and also have one from 2009. And that one was the zombie, was kind of the zombie themed one, I guess you can call it. Which I never had a chance to play anyone with the Plane Chase stuff because nobody in my store really cared about those cards around. I don't know. I have products I don't use. I have lots of games that no one plays. I never had a chance to play with anyone with. Oh well. Like I have Defeated God from Journey to Nyx, a challenger deck, which is just arch enemy but with something different added to it. I wouldn't mind having some arch enemy. I might try to see if I can find the arch enemy cards somewhere and get a hold of some of those. Be fun. At least I think it'd be fun. I've also been playing Arena and realizing that I could buy some decks I buy. If I buy the real world equivalent of some of the decks, I get a code that lets me get the cards for that lets me get the deck in Arena, which sounds great until you realize, oh, so that's why I've been losing nonstop with my piece together deck is because people just buying the decks in real life and then using it to get the code so they can just curve stomp you, which, it's a game. You get curve stomp all the time. But yeah, Magic the Gathering, it's an interesting game. Still like it. I might try to get my girlfriend to maybe play a little bit more of it. Maybe we start off with something smaller than trying to teach a commander. That was not a good idea. She got bored of it quick. Then again, I have another idea. I may, and she's probably listening to this part, I may have her go through my entire collection one day and pick out cards she likes, and we cobble together a deck for her out of them. I don't know. Or have her pick out a card as her commander and just go from there. I don't know. Or I could just not worry about it. Eh, might be the one thing that is don't worry about it. She likes playing the games she likes to play. I'm not gonna force her to do something else. I'm still trying to play Star Wars, which I've been staring at the screen for the longest time with my character standing on my ship, just not doing anything, because I want to talk to all my companions and I'm doing this recording. So I guess that's a good time for me to go ahead and end it. Anyway, it's been fun. You guys have fun. Bye.